So do you feel guilty at work a lot, like you're drowning in work guilt? Guilt can cause a low confidence, emotional fatigue, can cause you frustration and inaction. So in this video, I'm going to share with you a list of work situations where you might feel guilty even though you've done nothing wrong. My intent is really that you notice that a lot of what you feel as guilt isn't really justified. So I want to share with you a list of things that made me feel guilty, a lot of guilt at work at some point in my career. As I mention these, check, do you feel guilty with any of these situations? So number one, working fewer hours than you think is reasonable. So for example, working less than 10 hours a day when your contracted working time is 8 hours. On any given day, you feel like you can't work less than 10 hours. Or leaving before the boss, arriving after the boss. Second, doing anything other than heads down, focused work on your computer. For example, using your lunch and coffee breaks to network with other departments and other people, or being caught by your boss talking about anything other than work with somebody else, taking a few minutes to call or receive a call on your personal phone that was not related to work. 3, making mistakes. So making any mistake, or if your team makes a mistake, or missing a deadline. We all make mistakes to some extent. It's a natural human thing. It's part of learning. Here's one that is very typical for women. Not looking good enough. You're not feeling like you're not groomed enough. You're not professional enough. Your makeup is not good enough. You don't have those heels on that day. You have a bad hair day. Your nail polish comes off. How about this one? Not having the best personality. Feeling guilty because you smile too much, or you look too relaxed, or you weren't nice enough, or you were too sensitive, or you don't have a thick skin. You've cried at some point, or you don't speak with enough confidence, or you hesitate. Here's a big one for almost everyone. Saying no. Of course, that gives us guilt. Saying no to a request from the boss, saying no to a request from an employee, not picking up the boss's call when you're busy. What about interrupting or bothering other people? To any extent, disappointing them, coughing in a meeting, coming late to a meeting, leaving early from a meeting, stepping out of a meeting to take a call, asking for anything. So, for example, asking for a performance review and feedback, asking for resources and special projects and opportunities, asking to attend industry conference events, asking for a promotion or salary, asking to take your vacation days that you're entitled to, asking your boss for help or HR for help, taking sick leave when you're sick, asking to take time during the day to resolve things that you couldn't deal with any other time, like a doctor's appointment. What about having high expectations on yourself? And when you don't meet those expectations, you feel guilty. For example, not speaking enough in meetings, or saying something that you don't feel was wise enough in a meeting, not initiating small talk in the elevator, not initiating small talk with senior executives when you see them, not offering comments that you feel are insightful enough, not being able to get your team enough visibility, not being able to defend your team from bullies. And that leads us to feeling responsible for other people's problems and lack of happiness. So taking responsibility for others. So for example, if an employee is unhappy with something that's going on in their life and you take responsibility. Seeing that your boss is upset with something that has nothing to do with you. So in summary, do you feel guilt for anything that doesn't please others, that doesn't put the company's interest ahead of your own interest and well-being at all times, where that disturbs or bothers others in any way or form? A lot of those assumptions about what I did to displease others were imaginary creations of my mind. Guilt was a daily occurrence. No, that's an understatement. Guilt was an all-the-time occurrence in my work. And many times, the guilt would convert into frustration, resentment, and anger towards the company. And I often felt like a prisoner who had to be perfect in order to have a chance at growing in my career. All this fear and guilt is extremely energy depleting. It was only when I took action despite the fear and guilt that I was able to release myself from the psychological prison and burden that I created for myself. And with that, release the frustration and resentment and be able to better focus on what matters. The secret to finding the balance between serving the company, serving your boss, serving your employees, serving your customers, and serving you, your happiness, and your well-being is assertive communication. Assertive communication allows you to express what you feel, what you need, and what you want without feeling guilty, while still remaining considerate and respectful with others and with yourself. So I encourage you to learn more about assertiveness if you feel guilty. Check out our website. There's a lot of free resources there at www.assertiveway.com. And thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see you in the next video.